Good afternoon and welcome to this joint webinar between Engineers Ireland and the National Building Control Office. I am Richard Butler, Senior Professional with the National Building Control Office. The National Building Control Office is managed by Dublin City Council on behalf of the 31 building control authorities with the objective to promote a culture of compliance with the building regulations. We do this through a programme of education and training, inspection, providing compliance support to building control authorities, owners, builders and designers in relation to works or buildings. Our Building Control Administration System, the BCMS, has 120,000 registered users. As building control authorities are market surveillance authorities under the EU Construction Products Regulation and Brexit being back on the table, the Office is preparing to undertake a national market surveillance role for construction products. Our office is located beside City Hall at number 3 Palace Street, Dublin City Council. The Chief Executive Officer, Owen Keegan, requested that the office be of the 21st century, so we operate as a paperless dynamic work environment with all office systems designed to be highly mobile. The office can operate from anywhere, and since COVID-19 lockdown, it has been business as usual. Our contact email is support@nbco.gov.ie. Today, I am happy to introduce our team member, Éanna O'Keneally. Our other team members who are on hand to assist Éanna today include Shirley Lamb, who with Sinead Quinn Phillips in Engineers Ireland are responsible for organising this webinar. Mairead Phelan, Sabrina McDonald and Kelda Minjon, who with Éanna and myself delivered the IT solutions to enable the online submission of applications for fire safety and disability access certs, along with dispensation and relaxation applications. We now have a full suite of building control notices, applications and certificates enabling online submissions on the BCMS. We will have a question and answer session following Éanna's demonstration, time permitting. Use the question and answer feature to add your questions throughout the webinar. If we don't have time at the end, we will collate all the questions and email the answers to all attendees. We will launch 3 polls throughout the webinar, 2 just before we hand over to Éanna and 1 following Éanna's demonstration. Each will be launched for 30 seconds and we'd appreciate if you take part. Éanna will demonstrate a live submission of a disability access cert on the BCMS for a building, existing use, 3-storey building with over-the-shop accommodation and storage. Proposed use, the construction of a single-storey extension to rear of newsagent shop for storage at ground floor level. Change of use of existing shop storage area at first floor level to a single dwelling unit and access at ground floor. Material alteration consisting of removal of existing chimneys and internal walls at second floor level for a single dwelling unit. For note, the Department Housing, Planning and Local Government Bringing Back Homes Manual provides very useful guidance on this type of building. Just before I hand over to Éanna, Shirley is going to ask our first poll questions.
Thank you, Richard. The first of our poll questions is on screen now. You have 30 seconds to answer. What organisation are you from? Local authority, consultants, contractors or other? The results of that poll are 17% from local authority, 61% consultants, 5% contractors and 18% other. We'll go to our second poll question. It's on screen there now. So the question is, are you a current user on the BCMS? 30 seconds to answer. The results of that poll are 51% are current users and 49% are not. I'm now going to hand you over to Éanna. He's going to demonstrate a live submission of a disability access certificate onto the BCMS.
Thank you, Shirley. Good afternoon, everybody. Today I'm going to introduce you to the BCMS, which facilitates the online disability access certificate application, amongst others. The Building Control Amendments Regulations SI 9 of 2014 amended Article 5.4 to provide for the BCMS, or the Building Control Management System, as the information technology-based system developed to facilitate the electronic administration of building control matters by building control authorities as the preferred means of building control administration. By way of background, Article 20 of the Building Control Regulations as amended sets out the requirements in respect for works or a building for a disability access certificate. Where a disability access certificate is required in respect of works or a building to which Part 3B applies, a person shall make an application to the Building Control Authority for such certificate and not carry out such works or make a material change of use as regards the use of the building in contravention of Part M of the Building Regulations or any conditions subject to which the certificate is granted. Furthermore, a new building or an existing building where an extension or material alteration has been made shall not be opened, operated or occupied, or permitted to be open, operated or occupied unless a disability access certificate has been granted by the Building Control Authority. Today's example, I'm going to submit an application for a disability access certificate for works to a 3-story terrace masonry building. To access the BCMS system, open a web browser such as Google Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, and type in localgov.ie and open the web page. You will see a green button appear, BCMS, and click on this button. From here, you can log in if you have an account, or you can sign up to create account. To access and use the BCMS system for commencement notices, fire safety certificates, disability access certificates, dispensation relaxations, and certificates of compliance on completion, you must have a customer account. Note, I will use the term customer for user of the BCMS system. If you don't have an account, you can see our video on how to create an account on the BCMS, which is available on our YouTube channel. If you go to YouTube and enter NBCO in the search bar, our green icon will appear to our channel. You can subscribe to the channel also, and we will be providing new videos which will be available in the coming weeks. The process of signing up is similar to most website processes when the user enters an email address to create an account and an email with a link which is sent to complete the registration on the BCMS system. It is important to complete the registration by entering the essential information such as your first name, last name, address, and phone number before being nominated for a role. For a disability access certificate, there are 4 mandatory roles: the applicant, the owner, the person or firm to whom notification should be forwarded, and the person or firm responsible for the preparation of accompanying plans, calculations, and specifications. Each person or nominee must have an account on the BCMS in order to be nominated and to allow them to accept their roles in the application process. All roles can be an individual customer, or a customer can be nominated for more than one role. The application process is relatively easy and not as complicated as the commencement notice process, as there is no requirement to complete an online assessment which is associated with the commencement notice process. As a point of note, if you are an existing customer on the BCMS, you don't need to create an account for the purpose of submitting applications. I already have an account on the BCMS, so I'm going to log in and show you the submission process. So I click on login. My details are already there as I've logged in previously, but you would enter your email and password and click on login. For those of you who are familiar with the commencement notice submission process, you will see my applications as an addition to my dashboard, my details, my notices, my certificates, and take a tour. As I'm submitting an application, I click on New Application. There are 7 types of application available: a fire safety certificate, a revised fire safety certificate, a regularization certificate, a disability access certificate, a revised disability access certificate, a dispensation, and a relaxation. We are going to focus today on a submission of a disability access certificate, so I will click on New Application. This will bring you to the project's particulars, and you can start filling in the information. For note, throughout the submission process, you have a red asterisk where the field or the information is mandatory. You also have an eye with a circle, which will be referred to as an information widget, which provides further information on each field as you complete the process. You select the local authority you're applying to. In this case, I'm going to apply to local authority. Next, you create a project name. If you hover over the information widget, a description of a suitable project name is provided. This information will appear on the building control register as well as in all email communication. You should not use your or your client's name here, as it will appear as information on the online statutory public register. You can cut and paste to these fields, so I already have a project name, which will be Works 2, a 3-story terrace masonry building used as a shop at 3 Palace Street. The next field is, has planning permission been applied for or granted for works or building? Select yes or no. In this case is yes. 2 further fields will appear. Date permission was granted, if applicable, to the works, which was the 10th. The planning permission reference number also should be entered. Next, you select the classification works or a building. There are 4 classification of works or building. If you select construction of a new building, you are unable to select the material alteration, extension to a building, or material change of use. However, in this case, I am making a material alteration, constructing an extension of a building, and making a material change of use. Development description. This is a very important field. The description must clearly describe the development or works to ensure the Building Control Authority will have enough information to enable validation assessment without ambiguity and to avoid possible further information requests. The information widget outlines the requirements. Again, you can cut and paste from another document if you have this already available to you. The description is as my colleague described previously, Richard. Next, you enter the location of the proposed development. For a new building, you cannot enter an area code, obviously. You can, though, enter the street, town, and county and search by address. And a pin location will appear on the map below, and this pin can be dragged and dropped on the correct location as required. As this is an existing building, we'll enter the area code and select search by area code. You will note that this information is being auto-filled as I made a fire safety certificate submission earlier for the same project, and I will refer to the significance of that in a moment. The street here is 3 Palace Street. The town here is Dublin 2. Regarding the county, this in relation to Dublin relates to the Building Control Authority's area. So in this case, it may be Dublin City, Dún Laoghaire, Rathdown, Fingal, or South Dublin. In this case, it's Dublin City. By clicking on search by area code, reviewing the map, and the pin location is correct, I click save and continue. A green tick appears beside project particulars, and I now can proceed to application details. And click on edit. I now enter the use of proposed works or buildings. For further information, refer to table 0.1 of technical guidance document B. In this case, it's residential, and this is multi-select, so it's also a shop. And the subgroup, again, I'm selecting a dwelling, apartments, or flats, and a flat is defined in technical guidance document B, volume 2, fire safety for dwellings. And I click on shop also. The existing use of the building is a shop. The main construction type, and again, this is multi-select, however, this is an old masonry building. I'm going to click on masonry. If the construction type is not listed here, you can select other. I will now enter the site area and note the units are in square meters for area. Again, I entered a fire safety certificate submission, so if you have autofill, it will remember the figures. The number of basement stories, in this case, are 0. If you hover over I or the information widget, a definition and further information is available. The number of stories above ground level, including ground level, again, as I said, the definition and information is available. As this is first floor, ground floor, and second floor, the number of stories is 3, the height is 4.6 meters. The total floor area of the entire building, including ground floor and basement. If you need further information on a floor area, you can hover over the information widget. This case, it's 286.5. The total area of the ground floor is 117. Total area, the material change of use is 91.7. Total area of existing building is 249.8. And the floor area of the building extension is 36.7 square meters. Total combined floor area is 286.5 square meters. And the total floor area is 84.3 square meters. The next field is related FSC application. Note the fee for a disability access certificate is €800 per building or €500 per building where an application is made prior to commencement and coincides with the application for a fire safety certificate, where relevant, in accordance with the building control regulations. I have submitted a fire safety certificate online this morning, as I alluded to. So to avail of the €500 fee, I will enter the submission number of that application. Click Save and Continue. You will see a green tick appear beside application details, and we will now proceed to nominated roles. Click on Edit. In nominating anyone for a role or a customer, you must ensure that they have registered an account on the BCMS. The applicant is the person making the application and may be the owner or leaseholder. Enter the email of the applicant and the first name and last name will be auto-populated. If you are an applicant, you can tick Assign myself to this role. The applicant will automatically receive notifications. In this case, I am the applicant, so I'm going to assign myself to this role, and I'm the leaseholder. The owner is the person who has commissioned or paid for the works and who has legal entitlement to have such works carried out on their behalf. If the owner is selected above here, this will be pre-populated. However, I'm not the owner in this case, so I will enter the owner's email address. And click on Enter or Tab. And if the email entered is registered on the BCMS, the first name and last name will be populated. In this case, Michael Murphy is the owner. The person or firm to whom notification should be forwarded is a similar process. I entered their email address, and in this case, I'll be assigning my colleague Richard. And again, the person or firm responsible for the preparation of accompanying plans, calculations, and specifications, I'll assign my colleague Richard. Note the first three roles of owner, applicant, and person to whom notification should be forwarded are mandatory. However, if you require the person or firm here to receive notifications, click on Receive Notifications. The last role, Other, if you require another person or firm to receive notifications, complete the other role details. The other role is not mandatory. Click Save and Continue. You will note there is not a green tick beside nominated roles, as all the nominees who will have received an email notification of role assignment will have to log into the BCMS and accept the roles assigned to them. This includes yourself if you've assigned yourself the role. I will demonstrate the role acceptance process. Firstly, I've assigned myself as the applicant and will accept the role. And now by logging out and logging in as the owner to accept their assigned role. I now log in as the owner. I click on My Applications. And I search for the application, and I can filter it by application type. In this case, it's a Disability Access Certificate. As you will note, you can have a lot of applications as you make submissions. This is the application. It's a disability access. Status is incomplete, and I click View Details. I proceed to the Nominated Roles tab. And my colleague here, Richard Butler, has accepted both his roles. I will now accept the roles of owner. Note, the Nominated Roles tab is turned green. And to demonstrate what the email notification appears or how it appears, I go to the owner role assigned. I go to my Gmail account. As the owner, I will receive an email with the subject line, owner role assigned. I click on that. And in the email, the project description is here. The instructions I have to complete are here. I've been assigned the role of owner for a Disability Access Certificate with submission 400216. And I will click on this link and accept the role. I obviously have done that. So I will now go back to the BCMS, log out as the owner and log back in as the applicant, as I'm the creator, and I continue with the application. I proceed to my applications. I can filter just so Disability Access Certificate applications appear, and I scroll down until I find the application that I'm working on. I click on View Details, and as demonstrated previously, a Nominated Roles tab has a green tick, so I proceed to Statutory Documents. There is only one statutory document for this type of application, and you can download the form of application for Disability Access Certificate using the download button. If you review the document, you check all the fields are complete and the information is correct. The information from project particulars, application details, and the nominated roles tabs. This form should be printed, signed, and scanned and uploaded. To upload the signed form, click Edit. Using the Browse or Drop Files, select the file that you want to upload, and you can drag it and drop it. You click on Save. Note, only files in PDF are allowed, and the maximum file size for this document is 50 megabyte. The document will appear here at the bottom of the screen. You click on Save and Continue. A green tick will appear beside statutory documents, and you can proceed to supporting documents. To continue, click on Edit. The Supporting Document tab details what is required to accompany the application. In addition to the statutory document, you must upload a site plan, site location plan, floor plan, section, elevation, and compliance report. You can upload using the drop file or browse, and again note, only PDF files are allowed, and the maximum file size for this document is 50 megabytes. An uploaded file can contain one or more of these document types. For the purpose of demonstration only, I will upload one file which contains all of the below required document types. This would not be the norm and may lead to a further information request or a revised information request. I click on Browse. I enter the document type, which in this case is a site plan, site location, floor plan, section, elevation, compliance, report. I then enter the document name. The document name should be clear and assist the Building Control Authority in the validation process. If uploading a drawing, such as a site plan, site location plan, floor plan, section, elevation, you must enter the drawing size and the drawing scale, and this is multi-select. And you then enter the drawing number and you click on Save. The document will appear at the bottom of your screen, and if you wish to remove it, you can do so by using the trash icon and upload another document. If you wish to upload a document type not listed under these document types here, you can do so using the document type Other Documentation. Once you are satisfied, you click Save and Continue. A green tick will appear beside supporting documents and you proceed to payment. Before making payment, you check the application details are correct. You are shown a summary, the application type, the application status, which is incomplete at the moment as it hasn't been submitted, and the application description. You then make payment by entering your credit card details, or you can request an exemption from fees. You will note here that the fee is $500 as I entered the submission number of the fire safety application I submitted this morning. Otherwise, it would be $800. I tick on the request exemption from fees. For fee exemption, please refer to Article 22 of the Building Control Regulations as amended for applying for an exemption. Get the fee exemption form from your Building Control Authority, complete and upload in the supporting documents under the other documentation type. And you then enter the reason for applying for the exemption. And again, you can cut and paste this from another document or enter it on the screen. You then click on Pay and Submit Application. Your application has been submitted to the relevant Building Control Authority. You will see a message, Application Submitted Successfully. And all the tabs are now locked and will remain locked unless you receive a further information request or a revised information request to upload for additional information or make amendments. That is how to submit a disability access certificate. Thanks everyone for your time and attention today, and I'd like to thank my colleagues Richard, Shirley and Kelda in the assistance for this demonstration. And I would remind everyone, help videos will be available on the NBCO YouTube channel in the coming weeks. And if you have any queries or issues, you can email the Building Control Authority or ourselves at support@nbco.gov.ie. I will now pass you back to Shirley.
Thanks for that demonstration, Aina. So we have our last of our poll questions. It's on your screen now. So the question is, what topic would you like to see NBCO and Engineers Ireland present on in future webinars? BCMS submission process, building regulations, Building Control Act or enforcement? As before, you have 30 seconds to answer. So the results of that poll are 10% want BCMS submission process, 61% building regulations, 9% Building Control Act, and 21% enforcement. I'm now going to hand you over to Richard, and he was going to talk about future webinars from NBCO.
Hello, yeah. Do we have a question there? Can you set up the process that the owner pays the fee rather than the applicant? On the BCMS, only the creator of the application can pay the fee directly. Should another individual wish to pay the fee, they may contact the relevant local authority. The fee can be paid to the local authority in advance of submitting the application. A copy of the fee receipt should be uploaded to the supporting documents. The receipt number should then be placed in the reasons for applying for an exemption for fee field in the payment tab. So we'll collate these questions and answers and send them out along with the video of the presentation. The NBCO and Engineers Ireland, thank you for your attendance. Note, members of Engineers Ireland will gain 1 CPD award hour. I'd also like to thank Sinead Quinn Phillips from Engineers Ireland, Éanna O'Conneilla and Shirley Lamb from NBCO for organising this webinar and giving up their time. Future webinars, SI number 243 of 2012, part 3, Building Energy Rating, Public Buildings, New and Existing Buildings for Occupation and Advertisement for Sale and Letting. Richard Butler, Senior Professional, NBCO, the 20th of August 2020. The application of Part L of the Building Regulations to energy retrofit, extensions and renovations of existing dwellings and other buildings. Pat Nestor, Head of Building Control, DCC, 27th of August 2020. And NBCO's prospective BCMS and operation of BCAR 2012, Future of Building Control, 15th of September 2020. Goodbye and take care.